And we are back, waiting for our next speaker. The next speaker is Mr. Um, Ladislav Navratil, master in the product development app building. Check it out, guys. I'm gonna add Ladislav to stream. Hello, Ladislav. How do you feel, sir?
Hey, hello everyone. Thank you for having me. Well,
Being
it's
here.
a strange time, right?
It
That we
is.
streaming from our living rooms, but it's amazing to see how the community can adapt and we can share the knowledge and experiences across the whole globe. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, sure. It's something that we will remember forever. We already adapted quite well to. Do you feel comfortable being fully online, like transferring to digital life more than before?
Well, I guess it's new normal, right? We all
Yeah,
working remotely partially. Right now, we're almost all of us on the full remote. It's new experiences. It has advantages, disadvantages. We have to adapt. That's everything what you
yeah,
can do.
sure. Where are you streaming from, by the way?
It's my living room.
Yeah, but I mean the location in terms of
Sorry. Yeah,
region, city.
I'm based in Prague in Czech Republic. So we have midnight right now. So it's also one the cool thing. I think I never discussed the tech that late with anyone, especially sober. So I'm excited from it as well.
Yeah, you got double latte, double
Sorry.
espresso. You
Yeah,
got
a lot of
double
Red
espresso.
Bulls. Red Bulls is
Really?
my thing.
How many of them?
Yeah, I think first is right now, but I still have to survive till
Got
the Q&A in 2 hours. So it's still I think one more I will pop up.
got it, sir. Okay, I offer you to take this stage and present your material to the best of your ability. How do you
Perfect.
feel about it? Let's
Awesome.
go.
So again, hello everyone. It's really nice to imaginary see you from my living room. How I said, it's the strange time, but I really saying wow how the community can adapt and basically keep working and keep fighting all the problems. And today my talk will be about a similar word. It's the product development. It's also the environment where everything is changing, and basically you have to adapt and you have to be always better. So again, my name is Ladislav Navratil. I work as a CPO in Nangu TV, as the company based in Prague, Czech Republic. And I'm also founder of the Unlim IO, and will mostly speak about the second project of mine today. But first of all, mastering product development. So what is the product development? It's the first main question. It's a process of bringing new products to the market, and it's basically really challenging. It has a full team of people who has to work on it to bring something from the idea to something what the end users can use, and it will bring them the value and the joy. Every product development contains a lot of roles. It doesn't matter if you are a small team or if you are a big team. It just means that sometimes in the smaller team one person have to take more roles, but all these roles are always there. First of all, it's product manager. Product manager is the CEO of the product. He's basically saying and seeing the idea, describing what we should do next and how it should be. He has to speak with everyone and trying to put his vision to everyone else in the process. After that, we have project manager. For us developers, it's a little bit hard person to work usually, because we don't understand so much each other. For project managers, it's just the time. Everything is time and resources which they has to be handled and communicated to the rest of the world. So they're really important for the product development because they're communicating, basically taking inputs from you and bringing it to another parties. Like it can be management of your company or it can be the customers. So everything is keep on the track, and if there's some delay, they're the first person who knows about it and can prepare another parties that there'll be some delay and so on. UX and UI designers, it's the right hand of the product manager, and they're basically taking from the words the thing and giving it the life, how it will look like actually, and basically describing and finding the way how the user should interact with the product, and how everything should how look and feel should be. product owner, it's basically the person who is standing between product manager and the team. He's working much closer to the team and more detailedly describe whole product. He's creating the use cases, the user journeys, and basically better translating the idea of the product managers and UX, UI designers to the team. After we have someone, if we are working in the agile teams, we have some position like Scrum Master, where basically just keeping the velocity of the team on the track, that they are taking care that all the team is working predictably, and basically as a first person, they're like announcing that there'll be some issue or that there's something what we have to take care, take notice on. After it's us, right? Developers, people who are actually building the end product. This is the biggest part of the product development and the hardest, because there is a lot of pressure and a lot of things can go wrong. We'll speak about it. After really important parts are the testers. It's basically the first level of our feedback. They're taking inputs from the product owners, how the application should behave. They're building test cases, and after they're checking the output of the developers if it's how it should be. So this is the first feedback line. You getting the developer gets back the information if everything went correctly or not. And last but not least, there are customers. On the end of the day, every product is developed for the customer. It doesn't matter if you are B2B or in the B2C world. If your end customers are really the word from the street, or it's some corporation who's paying for it, on the end of the day, the customer has to be the most satisfied in all this chain. And this is really tricky how to do it. Also, what is really important is how the development lifecycle works, because it's really connected to these roles. So on the beginning, we have idea, basically what we want to create. After we're creating the user stories, we're slightly describing how the application should behave in every state, what everything it should be done. After we are putting the designs, so we are giving basically the idea getting visualized. We're creating the UX, how the application should work, how the user should interact with the application, where the buttons should be, how the navigation should work, really important part of the whole design system, and how the whole application should look like in the design world. Really important, and really often teams are skipping it, are prototypes. If you're doing the prototype, it's helping the developers a lot, because they see how you think and how you had its mind in the idea how the application will be interacted with. And it's really big help for everyone. You can get the feedback soon as possible. You can even do the user tests if the application, how it's designed, is correctly, because sooner you will get the feedback, faster you can adapt on the changes and basically not spend resources for something, but after you will have to redo. After prototypes, you're going to do the product description, which you detail. It's basically cookbook of your product. There should be described every single detail, how the application should behave. And after, it's going to the one big black box, and it's called development. And basically, there are so many roles who are expecting what will come from the development, and it's really tricky to fulfill their expectations. And on the end, we're getting feedback from the testing, feedback from our customers, and we basically iterate all over again. We're enhancing our project and so on. But product development basically brings a lot of challenges. It's really problematic in communication. There is big pressure on the developer and a lot of expectations. Why? Because the chain of the roles and of the life cycle is so long, and the biggest time is standing in the developer world. So if you're communicating wrongly, basically someone expecting that it will be done in next week, but when you're not showing the progress, all the issues, you're not communicating all the obstacles, there'll be always just disappointed people, and basically the work environment will not be pleasant. Because when you're going through all the life cycle, the longest time is spending in the development, and all roles from the product managers to the customers, they're expecting that everything will work, how they create the idea, and it can create really big issues if the communication is wrong. So how to do it? How to prevent all these issues that you will really work on something, you will work really hard, you will do your job basically great, you will be a good developer, you will create everything how it should be, but you're not showing your progress enough, or not often enough, And in this time, you will have troubles because another party is there expecting to see something after they see it in the longer time. It's not by their expectations, so they will start to be like disrupted, and they would like to change something. So first rule, what you have to do is to show the progress. Show the progress as much as you can. Do it daily if it's possible. More often progress you will show, sooner the feedback will come, expectations will be aligned. But what does it mean to show the progress? It's not so easy. First of all, you're doing on some application, you're working on some code, you have to create, you have to build your application. So you create the build, you want to show it to someone. So you have to upload it, basically to deploy it, distribute it to the parties who will check it after that. So you have to have some environment where you can upload your application. After, you have to notify all the parties that you created some new build, that there is something what they should check it out, and basically ask them for the feedback. But with the notification, you should also create the release notes. And just imagine that you are doing this work daily or weekly. It's a lot of job. You have to spend a lot of time with communication. You have to write a lot of text, lot of release notes and another stuff. But it's not ending by here, right? It's not ending that you're just saying, hey, here is it, do whatever you want. I'm working on another issues right now. Most important part is the collect feedback, and it's much harder part than just to notify everyone and write the release notes. Because collect feedback is also really tricky. You have to collect feedback with your external parties and internal as well. So how is it normally working? You have to, again, to be sure that everyone who you need feedback from will actually give you the feedback. So you have to really force and check that everyone important give you the feedback. Because on the end of the day, if, for example, you will write a chat, hey, give me feedback for this build, and you will not get it, yes, maybe it was not your fault and someone else should have done their job, but as a team you failed because you didn't get it on time, and basically you have all these troubles again. So how does it work? You're asking for feedback from someone, and someone is like just telling you, yeah, something it doesn't work. So most probably you will ask for the ticket, right? Because as a developer, you like to work with your queue of the task. You don't like the switch from one to another. You need some order, and it's fine. So you're asking to create a ticket. But to create and give the good feedback is not that easy. You basically have to be pretty skilled to give you all the information. So let's say that the user create a ticket telling you, hey, go to fix it, and you start having questions, right? First of all, hey, can you give me some screenshot or some data by which you can replicate this information? So you're asking, hey, can you more describe how you do it? How did you do it? And basically to get this answer, the person on another side has to be really trained. And it's really easier to do it with the internal people, but think that you're communicating with the customers as well. And other things which are really variable, it's the data what the application is getting, and they're changing in time. They're changing by how the user is logged in, what was the time when they were like co-working with the application, what kind of data was actually transferred to the user, and this is really hard to get from the normal users. You'll maybe get it from your testing department, but in general, there'll be a lot of troubles. So to give and get the correct feedback, it's very hard. And on the end of the day, you will be just disappointed. After, you would like to know if it's like happening repeatedly, and another data information, you will usually not get the answers what you need, so you will try to do it by yourself, try to figure out how to basically put your application to this state that if it broke, that you will be able to fix it. And with all these conversations, you are just more disappointed, and let's continue that the life what you're living is not pleasant. After that, you have your feedback, you have your tickets, you basically find out maybe how to fix these issues. So you have to enhance it, fix the issues, and iterate. And basically all over this communication start again. So you getting feedback for every version. How we said, more often you do it, it's better, because it's giving you, the sooner feedback gives you, you're not spending your resources on something what you will change, you will have to change anyway. So you iterating, there is iteration by iteration, a lot of work with communication, one ticket by another. One day you are ready to deploy it to production. You made enough of internal loops and you basically happy with some version which you're marking as is good to go to production, and you're shipping it to the world, which is completely different before where it lived now, because you were with the internal people, with the skilled people, with the trained people, how they should create tickets for you, how to describe and give you the feedback. But you're going to the environment which is much harder. There is much more conditions where the application is living in, and you're getting the same feedback by the users which are disappointed, by the users who doesn't basically expect that the application works wrong. They expect that everything works correctly. But of course, bugs are happening. They're happening in the production, but it's much harder to get feedback from the end users because they are not so trained, and you cannot ask for so many information like of the internal people. For that reason, I would like to introduce our project, which is called Unlim, and it will help you with all these issues. Unlim creates instant preview of your product. So you can, all parties within the team can see how the application looks in which state. It will allows you to share and create releases within your team and even with your customers. So you can automatically notify everyone who is important that there is something else what they should check. It also creates the automatic release notes because it knows what kind of issues were closed and which version. So it will basically notify all users what are the solved issues and which issues are known and should not be reported again, which is also really important, and it's annoying another parties when they have to report all over again the issues which have already been reported. What is really important to say that Unlim works out of the box with your existing projects, and it basically collects the feedback for you, and with all necessary data, we'll get to it. And last but not least, it allows you to collaborate together to create the best possible product. So right now, I would like to show you the demo. So we'll launch the Unlim application. It works on all possible systems, on the Windows, Mac, and Linux. When you're turning on the Unlim, you will see your recent project, which you have here, but we'll start with the adding of the new project. When you're creating the new project, everything what Unlim needs is the access to the repository. For that reason, my friend prepared a long time ago some nice application in React, but Unlim will work really good with all another technologies. It's not focused on React per se. So you're putting just your URL of your Git repository, you're putting some name of your project. If the Git is protected with username and password, you have to fill username and password. Just be careful, because this is shared with another with your team members. They will never see it. It's encrypted in the Unlim server, but it will be distributed. So what we recommend is to create a new user in your Git repository with, for example, just read-only access. But we're also working on the SSH access, and also to support GitHub and GitLab tokens. So you will be able just to share the access token, and these access token can have all necessary rights. This will be announced soon. So after, when you fill the Git repository, you're just pressing next. The Git repository is being cloned. Next step is to set the flows, installation flow and the build flow. Installation flow is basically the part where application getting all necessary dependencies. So it can be npm install, or you can like change it to yarn if you are more used to it. Build flow, you have to set the build folder, basically when you will call the build script, where the answers will be, where the results will be saved. Next step is the versions. Versions, basically almost every application has multiple versions. Usually you have some development environment and the production environment, so at least you have this dev and product versions. This application, what I'm using here, is really just a simple one, so we'll stay with just one version, and I will show you on the bigger project how it can be used. Basically, the version is just that you can use in the flows, you can use the variables. And the versions, you basically setting the values of the variables, and when you're building it, it's changing the build command. or installation command. So it will allow you to create multiple builds of the same commits and see how is it done. Last but not least, you can share your project with another members. When you're done, the application brings you to the dashboard where you see the releases. Of course, there is no release yet, some recent issues and the recent commits. So we'll start with the creating of the new build and new release. So you choosing one of the commits, you putting the release some number. So let's say that this will be 0.1 number, and you filling the title and the description. So this is the version for Global Summit demo. We're pressing save, and right now with one click we can create and basically see the instant preview of the newest commit, of the newest version which comes from the development. Right now we created the release, which is just the local draft. It's not shared with anyone. If you want to share it with our internal users, we'll just hit the pre-release. Pre-release means that your internal members will have access to it. After that, there is possibility to release basically publicly, and all the customers who have access to your project will see it as well. Also important is to say that basically right now, what is happening? The Unlim is installing all necessary development tools. After it's installing all dependencies of your application and creating the production build of your app. This is done just for internal users. If you will invite the customers to the application, they will never have access to the Git repository. Basically, Unlim for them will not have access to the Git repository. It will never be cloned. They will never see the commits, but they'll be able to see the done builds. So first of all, we have to finish the build. It takes just a while, depending on your size of the project, and also if you're running the application first time, because the first build is installing some development tools. After that, it's always skipped this part. So let's just wait a little bit longer when the application is built. So far on the dashboard, you will always see all the releases and also the open issues, which will show you just in a minute how it basically can be created, what does it do for you, and so on. After dashboard, you have the preview. When you have done build and you hitting the play, you basically will go to preview and will see the application, how it's working, the list of all issues here, and of course the settings of the project where you can, for example, invite the members and other members to your team, or even the external members which will not have access to the Git repository. So when the build is done, we have two options. We can play it and see it instantly, or we can deploy it to the server that everyone else will have access to already done build. When we're pressing build, we see the application. You can just close it to see it more bigger. And this is the application of my friend. It's basically the mine, searching of this minefield. I have not good luck with this, so you can play like that and basically enjoy the game. Yeah, I suck in it, sorry. And when you will solve it everything, you will get the treat, right? So let's say that we're not fine with this version and we want to change something. So we're going to issues. If you will hold just Control and click anywhere, let's say here, it creates the issue with the screenshot with exact point where you clicked, and I'll say, let's change the picture of the girl. I think it should have some background as well. So you're creating the issue, everyone can access the issue, everyone will be notified the new issue is done, and you can of course comment on the issue. So can you give me some options? And you can just create comments, and like that automatically it will be seen on the dashboard and also in the issue list, here. So right now, by one click, we already get the information. Where is the issue with the screenshot, with description, title, and so on. But it actually does much more, and we'll go back to it. So you can anytime play this build, or you can deploy it just by hitting deploy button. It takes just a while. It's basically archive all the build and deploying it to the server. So next time the users can just by one click download it, and it's much faster. It's like within seconds they can preview the version. So this is really handy when you need to collect the feedback from your customers or like from the wider audio. They don't need to install any development tools and so on. It would be a really lightweight application for them, and they can preview it. And also when you playing the application, there is multiple things what you can do. You can see how the app is working in different types of the screens, even television. So from the mobile to the big television screens, you can zoom it by yourself and see it. How is it working? And also there is the present mode. So what does it present mode? Let's say that we want to see it on the computer. We're hitting the present mode, and we can control the application here with different design. When we can customize how it should look like. So for the presentation of your progress, you can use this mode. The presentation mode works for every type of the device, and you can customize it for every device. Basically, what should be around for the graphic and so on. I will show you right now how is it working in a little bit bigger projects than just this simple one. When you come in here, you see the list of all dashboards, list of the issues, so you can check it out. What is there, the comments, what is the issue about, and you can go to the releases and basically just easily download the version if it's already shared with someone, and you can see that within a couple of seconds you have it done. You can press play, and this is basically a television application for O2 TV, where you can log in. Everything is working like on the television. And basically you see all application. This app even is controlled by the keys because it's done for television. It doesn't have any mouse cursor, but you can see that like whole app you can see immediately. And again, if you don't like something, you can just click and create the issue. So also, I can maybe show you the presentation mode for the big screens, like television. Again, you can completely customize it, and really you can see that this is much better way how to present your work to someone. Again, it's fully working application in these frames, which you can customize. Also, you can open your application in the browser. So when you see some build which you would like to, I don't know, to more debug or something, you can open it in browser. It runs locally in your computer. You can open the development tools and so on. So in the issues list, you see all the issues here on the one place nicely, and that's it. Okay, but this is not everything, and especially about the issues, I would like to speak a little bit more. Important part is that when the user clicks and basically interacts with the application, we know much more. So it's not ending here, and we have something more to add. Some features which will come a little bit later, and they're at least the same interesting like what is it doing right now. So first of all, when the user interacts with the application, we tracking his progress. Basically, everything what he do when he creates some event like mouse move, mouse over, pressing some keyboard, or when the application do something, when it's fetching some data, when it's receiving some data, when is it working and making some calculations. We all this recording, and basically when you click on this issue, we'll put this issue tracking together with it. So next time, when you will just come and you will see the issue that some new issue was founded, you will just hit the play, and it will be shown to you exactly what happened. So you will actually see the application in the completely same state with the same data, what the person who reported the issue get it as well. Even together, you will see the data what he received when he was logged in after something, because we all taking it to the closed environment and basically put your application to the same conditions with the same responses, with the same way how it happened to the user. There is also a new thing which is prepared, and it's that you'll be able to develop against this closed environment. So you'll be able to connect your development tools, and you'll basically be able to debug it exactly with the data what you get. So this will bring you instant feedback with all necessary data without any questioning, without asking, without creating the tickets for you. User will just click and you will get all this information what are needed. So after that, it's not everything what Unlim does. Unlim recognizes your application. So it recognizes what are the components, what kind of components are used in your application. And when you will click on one component, we'll show you what kind of state the component can have and where everywhere is used. Thanks to that, we can also create the component library. So on one place, without anything special, you don't need to set up anything. It will work out of the box. You can see all components in all states, how they are, and you can browse them, browse through them. And also you will see the styles in your applications which are used, what kind of colors are used, and that it will notify you that maybe you're using some wrong styles across the application, or that using too many variables or too many values, or different proportion of the grid of your UI. But what will also allow you to do is to change in real time your application. So just imagine that you're asking for feedback from the graphic designer, and he not just will give you the feedback, but he can enhance the application by himself. So all these restyling things he can do without basically touching the programming for you. And don't forget that it all works above existing projects, so you don't need to set up anything. There'll be most probably a question about the pricing, and I'm really honored to tell you that the whole application is for free. Maybe we are thinking about in the future to bring some paid version, but it will be for a large team and some advanced features. But what I showed you, it will be for free. So what is Unlim.io? Let's just a little bit repeat. Unlim.io gives you instant preview of your application within your team. It letting you sharing the releases within your team or even outside of your internal team with your customers. It automatically creates release notes, because when you closing the issue, it's connected always to some release. So every release will have the list of the closed and still open issues. So there will be known issues and issues which were solved. It works out of the box with your existing project. It just needs your Git repository and one-time setup of your installation and build flow. And it collects feedbacks with all necessary data, and this is something what we're really focusing on. And we will bring more and more features with the issues, and will enhance basically what it does today. And last but not least, it's really a tool which letting you collaborate together as a team and collect feedback from everyone, all important parts, that you will be able to create the best product possible. So again, the recapitulation. What is necessary to build and master the product development is to show the progress as fast as possible, as often as possible, and which Unlim grades perfectly for you, because you don't need to do anything. You're just committing your codes to your Git repository, and Unlim do everything for you. It allows you to collect the feedback, to notify everyone that there is new release, that the feedback should be collected, and it can even force people through the review steps. And it allowing you to really easily enhance and iterate all over again. And last but not least, basically this version is ready to deploy to production, which is also something what we're focusing on. So this is Unlim.io. It makes product development much better. And right now, basically today, we opening the public alpha. So you're able to go to unlim.io to try it. So if you will go to Unlim.io, you can download it for every possible platform. Just please be noticed that the Windows currently is just for read only. You cannot create the build, but you can share the build to the Windows platform, download it there and run it. But you cannot build it there. It's something what we're working on. It will be possible in the future. And what I may be encouraging you, join us on Slack. I had a lot of Red Bulls. I would like to chat with you. So just hit the Slack button or subscribe to stay updated, because we're working hard on this. This is really today we are first time giving it basically outside to the world for try it. So it will be really awesome to have you to help us basically build the product better, try it. Let us know what you think, and let's stay connected. Thank you very much.
Nice, 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 nice. Appreciate, sir. That was actually a Red Bull base convo. It's a good speech. It was amazing, man. You did a really
Thank you very
good
much.
job.
Thank you very much.
You did a really good job, and I'm looking forward to see you on the Q&A session.
Awesome.
And yes, and right now we're gonna have a short break, a couple of minutes before we're gonna have our next speaker. So yeah, Ladislav, thank you very much. Appreciate it. See you soon.